happy to just be back again with another video. So welcome to today's video. It's been long since I did a sit down video on this channel. It's been like 3 weeks, close to a month, but welcome to today's video. So today's video is about a reflection on the seasons of life, seasons that come with life. In Ecclesiastes 3 verse 1 to 8, it talks about seasons and times and seasons under the sun. And in the same book, when you start reading from chapter 1, there's a place there are verses. I think in chapter 1 there's a verse that talks, it's actually verse 3, that talks about everything being so wearisome, more than one could ever explain it. Like, the feeling is always an inner feeling when it comes to seasons, when it comes to things that happen in life. And in those seasons or in those situations, we might actually walk in ways that do not please God. For instance, when it comes to seasons of pain, there's so much we can do during pain. When it comes to seasons like working with other people, there's so much that can come in during these seasons. Things like the creepy things that, there are so much creepy things that come in during these seasons. Creepy things like complaining, murmuring, gossiping, getting familiar with maybe the authority that you need to obey. What else? The creepy things that just come in, and not until a major fall happens, that's when people get to understand the root cause of that major fall. It's always something small that starts up to just cause a major fall. It's nothing big. When you look at churches in the present days, why many Christians leave church is because of such minor things to do with gossip, things to do with murmuring, complaints, rumor mongering. Such things are things that actually cause a scatter and cause a fall, in case you didn't just know. Yeah, so talking about seasons and what we are required to do in the seasons, my major point of reference will be the journey of the children of Israel from Egypt to Canaan, where most of them actually didn't make it there. So when you look at their journey from the beginning, you see that God was always fighting for them. And during seasons, we actually, as Christians, for instance, we actually need our authority as Christians needs to manifest during seasons in life, during different seasons in life. And looking at the whole journey of the children of Israel, there's this time they are coming out of Egypt, and their enemies were following them to pursue them, to maybe overtake them, to kill them, and whatever. Then God comes through in such a way that he instructs Moses actually to part the sea, and whatever Moses does, he parts the sea, and that's God instructing him to do that, so that the children of Israel can just pass and go. And after they've passed through the sea, we see that their enemies were following them, they were behind them, and the sea comes back to normal, and their enemies are swallowed, the armies are swallowed in the water, they drown. And that's how God fights for them in the first place. No, among the first instances that God fought for them. And that shows you that in every season, God always knows the end from the beginning. And I tend to believe that seasons come, so many seasons come in life, and at times God allows them to just shape us, to maybe take us to the next level. Because when seasons come, there are seasons that seem like ndo zimekuja kutumaliza kabisa, kumbe there's even a bigger thing that is of more weight than what someone might be experiencing at the moment. And so, yeah, that happens. And as they continue journeying, they enter the wilderness. These stories in Exodus, in Genesis and Exodus, they enter the wilderness, and so much happens in the wilderness. We see them lack food, we see them lack water, and it reaches a point where they feel like Moses took them out of the land of Egypt to just bring them to die in the wilderness, when God all along, God had a plan for them. And God knew everything. He is an all-knowing God, and therefore he knew everything that was gonna happen, and he already had a solution for the things that, for the hardships that were coming their way. And so one thing we learned from these places where God provides for them, where God comes through for them, we see that God provides manna for them, he provides water for them. Zinakanga stories za jaba though, hizo zenye penye Moses anagonga stone inatoa maji. I know in my generation it sounds so unreal, but these are things that God did for the children of Israel. And God comes through in such a way because he already had a solution out of the problem that these children of Israel were facing. And that shows you that God is always seeing and knowing everything before it comes to happen. And that calls us to just trust in the Lord. Whenever we go through seasons, one thing that we need to know is we need to actually trust in the Lord through seasons. And in case you just don't know what trusting in the Lord is, it's like when the Bible says, "Cursed is a man who puts his trust in a man." It's so true, because you can, trusting is like having a certain expectation that whatever happens, but there's always an authority that you just choose to submit under. And nika ni sure bet to, this is a sure thing that God will come through for me. So that's number one that we need in seasons. Number two, when we look at the children of Israel, they reach a point where Moses goes up the mountain and to talk to God, and he delays. And what happens? The children of Israel start complaining to their leader at that time, and they tell their leader to just make an image for them to worship, a God they could see and relate to. And thing number two that seasons call for is our faith in God. Our seasons actually literally test our faith in God. So that's thing number two that is tested during seasons. And so this faith, when you read in Hebrews 11 verse 1 to 3, it defines faith as confidence in the things we hope for, the unseen things. And when the children of Israel used to worship God, they used to do it through Moses, through the instructions that Moses actually gave to them. But now they reach this point, they start complaining, and they say they needed a God who they would see and everything. And so in that process, during that process, we see there's an aspect of familiarity that comes in. They feel like Moses is not the only person who should be talking to God. We need a God that we can see and relate with at a personal level. So thing number three, I don't know how I can put this point, but when it comes to seasons, at times when things are too tough or too good, we tend to get familiar with what God has placed above us. And that makes us, which is point number 4, not to obey, to actually walk in disobedience. The children of Israel walked in disobedience. They started murmuring, they started complaining, and that aspect of obedience literally was put down during that moment. And now their leader by then, who was standing in the place of Moses for the children of Israel, makes that golden image and they start worshipping it. Yep, and when Moses comes from the mountain, that's the time God alikuwa amempea commandments akuje ape awase. Then what happens? Moses gets angry, literally, concerning what he saw, what the children of Israel were doing. While they were supposed to be worshipping God, they were worshipping a god, yes, small g. They were worshipping an image instead of worshipping God. Moses gets angry. And what follows next, he drops the tablet that was holding the 10 Commandments and it breaks down. And so point number 5, when it comes to seasons, make sure your anger does not like interfere with what you carry in the inside, what you have to pass over to other people when it comes to divine matters, spiritual matters. Yep. When you're in the battlefield, never lose your anger to concentrate on the minor things. Yes. Just during the whole journey, also there's a place where Miriam and Aaron start complaining about Moses. And they're like, why does God only speak to Moses and not all of us? They start talking about his Ethiopian. Was it an Ethiopian or a Cushite woman? Yeah, the Cushite woman that Moses had married. They start gossiping. They start complaining about that. And point number 6, I want you to take it this way. There are times that God might be leading you to do something which looks so stupid in the eyes of men and in the minds of men. And so during such seasons, or they're just seasons where things are said about you, rumors are spread about you, and you do not know what to do. And in this story where where Miriam and Aaron started gossiping about Moses, God came through for him. God fought for Moses. So point number 6 is that know that for sure God will fight for you. If there's any battle that he has to fight, he will for sure do it. And therefore it calls us to just depend on God during seasons of hardships, seasons of pain, seasons of laughter, seasons of love, seasons of hatred. In all these seasons, we're supposed to look unto God and just depend on him, trust him in everything. And in all these, I tend to believe that the authority of a Christian is actually manifested through obedience and faith. And not just obedience to any, but obedience to God himself, to the word of God and to God himself. In Romans, I don't know, sijui verse gani, in Romans 6:16, the Bible talks about obedience. It says you're a slave to what you choose to obey. And therefore, when it comes to obedience, it's a choice that we make to just obey. And in this context, in this case, we need to obey God. Obey his voice, obey him, and walk in faith, literally. There's this short, is it a short skit on the Windlow's channel that I watched recently. It talked about the believer's authority. And without faith, you cannot, like, that authority, the authority that God has given us as his sons and daughters cannot literally manifest during the seasons that we go through in life. Yep, so that has been it for today. See you on the next one, guys. It's a bye-bye for now. Remember to like my videos, to leave a comment. Let me know what you think about our videos. So bye, see you on the next one, guys, and stay blessed.